How to remove duplicate accounts from your credit report. And I'm going to include something that you may not quite expect. What up? You got Mr. Smith, point 5 of Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and in this brief video I want to talk to you about deleting or removing duplicate accounts from your credit report. And this video was actually prompted by somebody who commented under another video, and they said they wanted to know more information about getting duplicate accounts removed. And basically, just in case you don't know, a duplicate account is an account that shows up more than once. So sometimes you'll see the same creditor or entity that reports the same account more than once. And how do you know this is a duplicate account? Many times you see that it's a duplicate account because it'll have the same account number associated with it. And then you'll line it up and see that it has the same price, the same, just about, pretty much everything is duplicate, the same account. Now, we'll say this. Just because a creditor shows up more than once doesn't mean that it's a duplicate account. Why do I say that? Because as it relates to student loans and Fed loans and things of that nature, a lot of times they show up multiple times, but it's for multiple dollar amounts, and the dollar amounts differ. Sometimes the date that the account had been opened or established is different. So it lets you know that it's not a duplicate account, it's just showing up multiple times. Why is that important? Because if you go about deleting it because it's a duplicate account, then it may not very well be a duplicate account. And the reason why the student loans tend to do that sometimes is because sometimes it may be a large loan, but they broke it up in increments so they can still qualify you for that amount of money. I'm gonna just say that. I'll just leave it at that. So they qualify you for that amount of money. Now, hence, sometimes it may be difficult or hard to get that large amount of money in another way, but they do it all in one way and give you multiple little loans that add up to it. Sometimes it may be some different consolidations that have taken place, so it might show up as multiple things because the debt was sold off, things of that nature. So that's a whole nother conversation. But just understand, just because it shows up more than one and it's the same creditor doesn't mean that it's an actual duplicate account. Now, I will say this: if the account is showing up positive between me and you might not want to delete it. If it's showing up to be positive, even though it's a duplicate account, you may not want to delete it because it's just one of those things that just so happen to work in your favor. So if you have something that's reporting positive, like no late payments or the payment history is intact, if it's something that deals with something that you paid off, whether it's installment loan or even credit cards, something that you are paying and you keeping the utilization low, then it's like showing two accounts reporting in a positive manner. So I would write that out as long as I possibly could and keep it on my account, because if you delete it, then it strips it from one positive reporting account and could possibly lower your score. Just a little FYI, I would benefit from their mistake. Just like their mistakes can often hurt your score, sometimes their mistakes can benefit your score. So don't be so quick to delete it if it's reporting positive because of the detriment that it could cause. Just something to consider. Now, as it relates to getting those things deleted, a lot of times you can call the different bureaus, Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, and say, hey, it's a duplicate account, and they'll be willing to remove it as long as you get through to an individual who can help you directly. In addition to that, the method that I use when I'm working with clients is mailing in a letter, and it's basically, we've given out free letters on here. Let me know if you still want more free letters on here where we're going through how the letter works. You can pretty much screenshot it, type it in yourself, so you have your own letters. Even though some people charge for it, we've given away quite a few free letters, but we mail out letters, and the letter will just say, hey, this is a duplicate account. You list what the account is and then what you want them to do about it. So you say, hey, please remove it from my credit report. And of course, it'll have some other stuff ahead of it. So it might have your name, address, basic info. It'll have the creditor's name, address, basic info. Then you'll say, hey, I was recently looking at my report. I see some things that are hindering my score from being less than ideal. It's really charging me more interest. This is an item that I would like to be removed. And then you say, hey, this is a duplicate account, the type of account that it is, and what you want them to do. Please remove this from my credit report. Then you say some other stuff like, hey, thanks in advance, da 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 da. So basically, you're just giving them a basic letter in order for them to know what you want them to do about that duplicate account. And in many cases, it'll get removed. Now, we'll say this: if you're sending that to the bureaus, you do want to send photo ID, basically a copy of your photo ID and your current address, just because it establishes even more proof that it's you. or that it, you've given a green light for it to be done on your behalf, one of the two. So that's pretty much how you go about it. You can call and get it done, or you can leave a paper trail and send in a letter and get it done. But both can work. You can actually do both. If you call and you don't see that it got removed instantly, which that's usually not how it works, you might want to have a letter sent off as well, so you have both things working for you in your favor. You want to send it to all of the bureaus that is showing up on the account. So if it only shows up on TransUnion and Equifax, don't send one to Experian. Just send it to TransUnion and Equifax. If it shows up on all three, send it to all three. If it shows up on one, just send it to that one. Hopefully that makes sense. Mr. Smith signing out. Salute.